Alright, welcome to the video. I am going to show you how I made this viral potato tart type thing, and it's not vegan, but I made it vegan. And I did a video recently where I just talked about the frameworks that I use to make weight loss friendly meals, and I can kind of do this for like literally any meal that I see. And I wanted to do that again because I was craving this. I saw it online and it's very, very easy to modify any meal, I think, for weight loss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did that, and we're going to start by putting some potatoes on because the potatoes are the base. This looks so freaking good, by the way. Like, it's got eggs in it. But I just love, like, I love the idea of like the potato being the crust for this, and I'm not going to use any oil for it. Oh, super excited. But it's super easy to make weight loss friendly meal. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you how I use kind of like a 4-step concept or framework for modifying meals like this, so that you can also apply this to the meals that you make. So let's do that. All right, so I'm going to use these boiled potatoes. They're still pretty hot, but I don't really have like a tray like how I want to, like a pie kind of tray, so I'm just going to put them in I've got my oven on, and I'm going to put them in like a casserole type dish. So let's do that. Baking potato. Doing this like helps it to stick a bit better. Okay, so then I have this all in here. So this is going to be the base, and I'm just going to bake it. Bake it for a little while. Okay, so the next part of this, so we're going to do some zucchini and onion and garlic now for the base of this. Okay, so let's cook up our zucchini and garlic and things like that. Big garlic. So the thing that I'm going to make sure that I do is like add like a ton of veggies to this, so that it's like lower in calorie density. And she did like some zucchini, but I'm going to do loads. So right here. Okay, so I am going to put some like sun-dried tomatoes in this, and they do have oil in it. So what I'd like typically do is I like get out a few, like I'm gonna get out like this much, and I actually just wash the oil off them. So they do have like still a little bit on, but this has been my strategy. So now we're going to make like the kind of the base of it, and so I'm going to use tofu obviously as opposed to eggs, because I think it'll give us some similar kind of texture. And I don't really know exactly how much, but I'm just going to give things a go and kind of play it by ear. It's like one pack, like 650 grams of tofu, and normally I would use like a blender, but my blender literally just broke, so I'm going to use this food processor. Here we go. And I'm going to use some corn flour, nutritional yeast, some vegeta stock, herb salt, and some soy milk. Okay, so I have ended up putting like quite a lot of like seasonings in it, and the texture that I've gotten is, because I've all kind of just done it like, it's just kind of like a gloopy texture. I think this texture will be good, and then I end up putting a little bit more corn flour in as well, because I was kind of worried about that. We're going to plate them up and do it and just hope for the best. So look how good this turned out. Like, it's super like crispy, and it's like a perfect kind of base. So I'm super excited about this. Look at this, beautiful. Put some salt in this. I'm just going to put a couple of tomatoes. Ah! how this cooks. All right, let's look at this. This has been on now for about like 40 minutes. I just finished a podcast, which is all about 5 uncomfortable truths that have been the game changer for me, like losing weight. So if you want to check that out, go check it out. But look at that, like texture wise, this looks absolutely perfect. I'm super excited. So the first concept I'm always thinking about is how do I add like a ton of vegetables? So like this meal right here, like it already had the zucchini, and then I don't count potatoes as that, but I'm also going to put a side of this. I've got the tomato on top. So I want to find a very veggie packed recipe. The second thing is that, so if I've got half veggies, I want to make the other half like whole food starches. So I would say that that is like the potato in there is the starchy source of it, but then also the tofu. And so with those two elements together, I've kind of got like a 50-50 plate, which is your non-starchy vegetables, and then is your starches of like potato, rice, quinoa, beans, tofu in this case. And then I'm also going to pair that with more vegetables, because the more vegetables you eat, the lower the calorie density. The third thing that I'm always going to look for is how do I reduce the calories? And so in this meal, by using tofu, obviously I make it vegan, but it's going to be lower in calories than using something like eggs. I'm also not going to use any oil, because if I eliminate oil, I've eliminated about 400 calories from this meal right here, which are not going to add any fullness to it. And I just use baking paper instead. I could have put something like vegan cheese, but that's also going to add a ton more calories than is necessary. So I added a nutritional yeast instead. And then I guess like the fourth thing that I think of, I think I did have another point for the other video, but I honestly can't even remember. Like those 3 are good enough. But if I am craving something, and the reason that I think that I have been very successful with my weight loss and that I'm able to like maintain a lean physique, and I have done that for the last 6 years. By the way, I just did a video about the 5 habits that have helped me to maintain, so go check that out if you are wanting more help with maintenance, which by the way, maintenance is the same thing. Weight loss, weight maintenance. If you want to maintain your weight long term, they are going to be the same thing. But I'm never all in or all out. So I was craving something like this. I saw it online, I thought it looked good, and I made it. But I made the best version that I could think of, rather than going like, I'm gonna just go all out and like make, I don't know, like this meal itself, like how could I have made that? I mean, I could have used like vegan cheese and things like that, egg replacers or just egg or anything like that, but I'm just trying to ask myself, how would I make things as whole foods as I can while still satisfying my cravings? And the fact that I can like make this and then still like eat a meal that I'm gonna love, I'm not gonna taste it in a second. Like I think that has safeguarded me, because I'm able to have a craving, I'm able to want something, and I can make it and I can enjoy it, and I can still stay consistent with my diet. And most of the time I'm not going to be eating foods quite this like decadent or this involved. I'm going to eat very simply, but it's so cool that I actually can. So let me know in the comments, what recipe could you do this for? Is this something that you would find helpful? Is this something that you even want to make? Let me know. I would love to know what kind of frameworks or what kind of ideas come to mind when we talk about these frameworks, because frameworks truly are the thing that help us to move from rules, which we always want to break, but don't safeguard us anyway, to actually understanding how something works, and then we can follow through and do it. All right, well, let's actually cut this off now. Pretty good. Okay, and when I eat this, which I'm gonna do now because it's also already getting late, but I'm going to have this with like some broccoli and like a side salad, but I'm just gonna do like a little taste test. I love that crispy potato in there. And the cherry tomatoes. Look at the texture though. Now how good. It pretty much turned out perfectly, to be honest. Yeah, loads of veg. Gonna be super filling with that potato. I always try and add potatoes to my meals. And I'm gonna have some broccoli, cook that up, serve my family, and that'll be it. So let me know in the comments if you're gonna give this a go. Let me know how you're gonna modify a recipe based on these frameworks if you want to, and if you want to see more kind of recipes from me as well. So, I'll see you next week for another video. Okay, bye.